of the other stuff that's going on in my sweaty life. So, Burn and Learn's done. I did it. Finished. Well, not this part, obviously, but the part that involves me actually exercising is done, or as I call it, the renonerd wobble. I did a whole bunch of 21 minutes of renonerd wobbling. So yeah, I put Jane through her paces. I did my 7-minute workout. So you do three. I did three of those. I did like a warm up and then the actual exercise, which I swear to God, the warm up I think is harder. And then we did a stretch because we did 7-minute stretch because frankly we're just like little balls of just I don't know. I'm like a ball of jello. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, and good morning, and salutations. And what do you think? This is the bane of my existence right now. This is our, I should do this. This is our bathroom. This is a bathroom that near the beginning of the pandemic, I got a little stir crazy and thought, we've been talking about redoing this for ages. We got to get on this. And you can see I've done a fantastic job of that, really getting stuff done. There's the floor. There's the walls. So there's a roof up here. There's a roof up there. There's a beautiful window there with this ugly, ugly glass, but I'm not taking it out because I'm scared if I take it out, the entire side of the building will go. There's all sorts of things to do here. I got to put a shower in here. I've got to build a cabinet here. And I'm trying this plumbing. Everybody highly, highly recommended these shark bite connectors, which basically can I show you? Can I do this? So basically you cut these, and then you slide these shark connector things on, and then I'll have shutoffs. So I can shut off all the water that goes to the shower so that we could sort of build it in stages if needed. And it's needed. So yeah, Jane every so often sort of goes like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't start that project until we've done the bathroom. So I did a magnificent job of cleaning it up, I must say. We had an electrician come in and just do some electrical stuff because apparently Jane didn't trust me with that. Weird, huh? She thought maybe I shouldn't do the electrical. I was like, come on. Like, I make stuff with electricity all the time. She's like, yeah, you hurt yourself with it all the time too. Sorry, but this is a much needed coffee. We were late today. We had a whole bunch of stuff going on. I had to get a COVID test today. And let me just rephrase that entirely. I got a COVID test today. Again, the Florence of Nightingales came in with her flowing plastic robes and she swabbed my nose at the door. I mean, Jesus Christ. This is the film industry. It's fucking ridiculous how pampered we are. And this is because I got the dates wrong, and I was supposed to be somewhere at 7 a.m. yesterday, and as it turns out, I couldn't have gone anyways. It was sort of a late scheduling thing, and I thought it was an indication that she was coming to the house, and she wasn't. It turns out I was supposed to go somewhere. I mean, I screwed up. I completely screwed up. I misinterpreted the emails that came in. It was a little unclear, but I could have sorted that out better. As it turns out, I couldn't have gone anyways because it was my son's first day going back to school, and he had to be dragged, kicking and screaming from his bed and hurled into someone else's car, and he's just got into another school, which I'm really excited about. I don't think Jane can hear me, but one of the reasons I'm so excited about it is because there's a Magic the Gathering store like across the street from this place. So his after-school sports could be Magic the Gathering. And speaking of Magic the Gathering, is today. Today at 4 p.m. we are being honored, or I'm being honored with Liam Kane is going to join us. Liam Kane is a son of a friend of mine who is a Magic the Gathering player extraordinaire. Has been ranked a few times, or maybe even is ranked now. I'm not exactly sure. I'm looking forward to finding out. It doesn't really matter. Point being is he knows what he's doing. He's been to numerous competitions. He's now doing some online stuff. He started all this in high school and is now, I believe, in university. But we'll find out all about him and what's up. And I'm hoping for some tips on how to crush Bratlet in my Magic the Gathering playing. And so I invite everybody, please come by and make this a big thing for him, because I would very much like to welcome him well into this Tech Bandits, or Game Bandits as I'm calling it right now, because of course it is kind of gaming related. I'm very looking forward to sort of welcoming him into this sort of community and seeing if he could perhaps inspire a few kids into some perhaps less screen-based stuff. I mean, who knows? I mean, I know they can't get together anymore right now and all that jazz. I know they can't actually play the tournaments. Like Baz used to like to go to the tournaments on Saturday for kids, and actually at this place that's across the street from the school that I'd like him to go to. And this is the debate we've been having actually with Jane. And when I say we, I mean a royal we. That's me. I just Jane is sort of keen on the art school approach to his interest in the art school side of stuff. I am completely biased because not only did I never attend art school, I never took acting classes, I never did any of that stuff. I don't, that should be perhaps a reason for people to go and do that. But it never seemed necessary for me, if that makes sense. I mean, look, there's a lot of debate. I'm reading this book right now called the Personal MBA, which is all about, do we really need to do, an MBA? Like, why don't, if you need to do business, go do business, for God's sake. I feel that way about acting. I feel that way about a lot of things right now. And the last email that I sent out for the Tech Bandits was a really interesting one, because it was just sort of voicing their discontent with the way the educational system is working. And I've got so many responses back. Thank you so much. I may not be able to respond to everyone back again, but they've been amazing. And I'm going to try to compile them into, maybe that's a job for the Moira, the Moipocalypse. Maybe I'll ask my sister to see if she can help. It's probably makes me a rather evil brother that I call my sister Moira the Moira-apocalypse. But she totally is, and she knows it, and she's wonderful. But she's also a teacher. She's also the most brilliant person in my family, and I say that. I mean, she would put McKay to shame, frankly. And she's also a teacher. She doesn't actually teach, but she is a fully, whatever it's called, certified teacher. Certified, I'll say. She's definitely she's gone through all the programs and stuff. So she's a teacher. She's done a little bit of teaching, but she doesn't like the educational system the way it is right now, and has been working on a lot of curriculum for early childhood education. Like, she does these little sing-songs, Mother Goose clubs and stuff like that. I'm trying to talk her out of saving young children and instead bending the minds of young teens to the evil ways of science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. So yeah, I'm hoping maybe she could have a look at some of the comments about education, because she is probably, not even probably, she is definitely better equipped to respond and to perhaps compile this stuff and information that people can use. But today the education is in the dark arts of Magic the Gathering, and I am really excited about that. I love it when a plan comes together. I love it when the nerd stuff meets the educational stuff. And I know it seems silly to most people to think, like, how is Magic the Gathering in any way educational? But there's so many ins here. There is, I'll go back to it again. There's the idea of investing in cards. And do you invest in them as boxes that are unopened that you try to sell later for vast amounts of money? Do you buy the individual cards you want? Does it make more sense to buy booster packs to open, or do you just go and buy the cards you want? I mean, yes, there's a fun aspect to it, which I guess you could sort of add to the art of playing. But there's also, I think, there's a science, there's a math, there's a business, there's a teamwork and team play and social aspects to it. I'm very, very excited about it, and I'm very excited about this afternoon. So please do join us 4 p.m. today. I will obviously try to remember to tweet in advance so people know exactly where to go, but it is Tech Banditry. If you go to twitch.tv/Tech Banditry, you will find us, and I will be live talking to Liam. I don't know in what form, way, shape, or form I'm doing it yet, but either he will be on video or he will be on audio. Either way, he will be a fantastic resource for everybody, and I'm really, really excited about it. I have not looked at any of your chat stuff, so I apologize. Okay. What do we got? Are there a lot of Magic the Gathering people out here? I consider myself more of I consider myself more of a collector. I love the research. I love watching videos. What is it? The Tolarian Academy or Tolarian Community College. I love that. So I love doing all the research about it. I love watching. What is it? The MTG Nights. What is it called? Oh God, come on. Has it been that long that I haven't watched? Oh my God. What is it? What's the Knights one? What's the Knights one? Yeah, isn't the shirt great? It's pretty freaking great, isn't it? It's cool. My son's pick, of course. So I've got the Magic the Gathering stuff going. I've got COVID tests done. Tomorrow I do some more wardrobe. They're going with a more sleek look. More of a sleek look with my character. They've decided to rework him, and I'm kind of excited about that. The words Alan Rickman came up, and I thought, oh, God, I want to be Alan Rickman when I grow up. So that was sort of a reference for this character, and I thought that was amazing. I don't think I'm allowed to tell you that. No, but I haven't told you what it's for, so there you go. That's fine. So whereas before he was sort of this sort of horrific kind of character out of a horror movie, now he's going to be a little bit more a little more dignified, which I'm quite looking forward to. The whole process is just fun, frankly. It really is. I mean, people pay me to pretend to be other people for a living. How freaking cool is that? Like, whenever I'm having a bad day, I just go like, dude, you watched Doctor Who and said, I want to be a Time Lord, and this is where you end up. I mean, oh my God. And that's what I want for the kid, for sure. I mean, not acting, obviously, because I don't want him going to an art school. But I'm convinced that Jane's attitude towards art schools is different than the art schools that we have here. And maybe that's just a snobbery on my part, but I feel like the British approach film and television in a very sort of, what is the term? In almost like a tradesman way. Like, it is a trade. You learn the craft of acting, and you hone it, and you work your way through parts, whether they are small or large, and you go from a lead in one to a bartender in another, and you just continue working. They have this fantastic work ethic. They have a fantastic training system. I am humbled by British actors in their training and their approach to the industry. Always, I think they're just amazing. I mean, obviously not everyone, but certainly the majority of the ones I've met. Frankly, I am between the Australians and the UK folks. I mean, I'm blown away. All right, I watched Doctor Who as a girl and wanted to be the Doctor. Now I cosplay as him, different paths. Indeed, Rebel Time Lady. Time Lady, that makes sense. Time Lord, Time Lady, now it all makes sense. And a Rebel Time Lady, nonetheless. Well, that's it. I mean, and the fact that there is, or was, a female Doctor, I think is kind of wonderful too. I think it's kind of fun to open it up. It's... Doctor Who was a huge inspiration for me, like absolutely massive. I cannot thank TV Ontario enough for putting that show on the air and adding to that show a science fact-based sort of after show. This is long before anyone else was doing after shows. I mean, I remember pitching this to Sci-Fi years ago, going like, we got these kids dreaming and excited. We got them in the first stage of engineering, the dreaming phase. Let's move them into the science mode. So that's what TVO did, and I would say would be the testament to sort of low budget, high concept thinking, where they're like, oh my God, we've got Doctor Who. We have to make this educational somehow because we are an educational, so we've got a mandate from the government to make educational content. Let's bring in scientists. Let's bring in science fiction writers who can talk about the science behind the show. So for me, it's, as I say, inextricably linked, science and science fiction for me. I didn't see the difference. I really didn't see the difference. I was like, well, we haven't got TARDISes. We haven't got the time and relative dimensions in space machines yet because we just haven't figured out how to make them. So So while I was berating the idea of magic being science being indistinguishable from magic if once it's advanced enough, yesterday, I also feel that it's a wonderful inspiration moving forward. I mean, obviously, you look at Star Trek. There's not a device made today that doesn't have some kind of a Star Trek vibe to it, so to speak. Yeah, I mean the BBC, my God, I mean their educational content is extraordinary. Their news content is extraordinary. I listen to the BBC News because they just go into detail on things that I would never have thought of. I feel like it's educating the population in a way that it's just not it doesn't seem to be either available or accessible as much here. I mean, I guess it is now because of the internet, but I feel like there is there's like a love and a respect for learning and tinkering and such within the UK system that I'm just not sure exists as much here. And then maybe I'm just wrong, and maybe I've got sort of, as my mom would say, grass is greeneritis, where I always feel like it's better to be somewhere else. Because right now, I'd like to be in Warwickshire. I do like Toronto. I do like Toronto very much. I do like Canada, and I do like being in Canada. But at the same time, I really don't like winter. I don't mind the odd rainy winter, but this freaking snow. I'm trudging through the snow yesterday. We got the kangaroo pup bouncing around in the snow drifts and falling over because she keeps wrapping herself up and then knocking me over and dragging me down hills. And I'm too old for this winter crap. Anyways, speaking as somebody that lives in the UK, our population isn't very educated. The majority voted to leave Europe for selfish reasons. Oh boy, don't start that political debate, but that's done. That's done and dusted. You've moved. You've gone. I don't understand it either. I don't understand it at all. I had no, it's not true. I didn't have a hard time. I could not find someone to explain to me why leaving the EU was anything other than a kind of odd attempt to return to the past, which was great as long as you weren't, a visible minority as long as you were white and well off. It was a wonderful place to be. So again, I'm not going to tar every Brexiter as a racist or a some kind of a protectionist type thing, but I really question the logic of that. I feel like at a time when you need a big what is it? A friend of mine who talks about, if you're going to sit down at the table with the big cats, you need to be with the big cats. And if you're by yourself and there's you've got the EU as one bargaining group and Russia, and I mean I absolutely question and condemn that choice. But at the same time, it's a vote, right? Look, what do you do? What do you do when you have a democratic process and you don't agree with what the majority says? You have to go along with the majority. That's the very nature of democracy. And I think that it's kind of great that we can vote on these things and that's the way these decisions are made. I think it's led us to become hopefully more apparent of misinformation, and also a lot of politicians who seem to have pushed for pushed for leaving EU and then left England. I don't understand that either. But anyways, are you in Ironham's Discord? If you want to talk about Doctor Who sometime, hit me up in there. I shall, Rebel Time Lady. We should do like a Doctor Who show someday, just to talk about that. It's funny. Ironham was originally both of our server. I am almost never on Ironham anymore. I'm always on the Tech Bandits Discord, but I'm saving that for them. I was rightly told off, and justifiably, by my wonderful mods, Ruby K and Cal about this. But it really can't be opened up to everyone because we're dealing with kids, and there's just too many things that can go wrong. So I will endeavor to get onto the Discord, the Ironham Discord a bit. Speaking of Ironham, yeah, I just got to talk him into the school. I don't mean to talk him into it. I mean, he should make his own choice, but I would like him to go to the school. It has an IBS program, which until very recently I thought was just an irritable bowel syndrome. What is it? Irritable bowel syndrome. Yes. So he's not going to school for that. I'm sure he can figure that out himself. He's a Hewlett, for God's sake. We love our GI tract. But no, this international baccalaureate or whatever it's called, or intellect. What does it mean, IBS again? No, she's gone. She's left me. Isn't it? Yeah, something like that. Anyways, the idea is that you can get an education that will translate to anywhere you want to go. Basically, it's sort of a standard, a sort of European standard of education. I don't think he would be in that program specifically, but the school does have that as a stream. And should he choose to do that, then that'd be amazing. But the Magic the Gathering store across the street, that's what did it for me. I was like, this is like a dream come true. And a fantastic education, too. That's what I'm really concerned about. Favorite doctor in Doctor Who, Tom Baker, probably. I adored Pertwee. I was a big fan of John Pertwee and those years of Doctor Who. But I think, because of my age, I guess, when he made that transition, when Doctor Who regenerated into Tom Baker, that was it. I was smitten. But long before Tom Baker, I was running around with wheelbarrows and boxes pretending to be Daleks and, toilet plungers and things like that. So I was definitely glued before, but I think because at that point there was an autonomy to my love of Doctor Who. Whereas before I felt that it was nurtured by my parents. When I became sort of a young, it's sort of pre-teen to teen, well into teens for that matter. Actually, still to some extent. Actually, what am I saying? I really pursued it myself. I bought all the books. I bought the magazines. My fantastic grandpa, also called David, all the best people, Davids, used to collect all the old Doctor Who magazines for me. And they were like quarterly magazines or something. And I'm not sure he got all of them, but he got, when he thought of it, he would pick up these Doctor Who magazines. So when I arrived in England for the holidays, I'd have these Doctor Who magazines, which you could not get in Toronto. Couldn't get them. They didn't have any of this stuff. I don't even know if they were doing conventions at that point. I think there was a convention at one point because I did get Richard Prowse and Anthony Daniels' signature because they were at a convention at some point. It was Tom Baker. Tom Baker, I think, was sort of the seminal doctor for me, and then obviously Pertwee sort of led into that as well. And then I kind of lost touch. I think because I was then a teenager. Then there was girls and alcohol and parties to go to and acting of my own. Frankly, I mean the acting stuff. I got really deep into the acting side of stuff and trying to learn about filmmaking and learn about actors and read like every freaking book I could find on, James Dean. And then there was a whole funny things. Like, so at first it was like James Dean. I want to be James Dean. I ended up being like basically Phil Collins, but I wanted to be James Dean and, or maybe more like Anthony Daniels, actually, now I think about it. Not that there's anything wrong with Anthony Daniels. It's like I wanted to be Han Solo. I ended up being C-3PO. That's basically where I ended up. But the idea that, oh God, I've completely lost my thread of. I'm going to just drink coffee. It's easier for me just to drink coffee and go back to this. Delicious. Yes. You'd start with like anything, like any rabbit hole you go down. You go like, oh my God, James Dean's the coolest actor that ever existed because you've seen the posters and you've seen the movies and there's all that hype around him. And you go, wait a second, James Dean was very influenced by Marlon Brando. Oh, Marlon Brando is the best actor that's ever existed. You read all the books about him. And you go, Marlon Brando was really influenced by Montgomery Clift. Montgomery Clift was the best actor I've ever seen in the world. And then you read about that, and then you just go, and then you're like, oh, wait a sec, Brando was a big Stanislavski fan. I gotta read all this Stanislavski stuff. And then, oh my God, his favorite play was this. I gotta do this. You end up, like I've said, and the reason for Tech Bandits is inspiration over education, because the reality is once you are inspired, you will educate yourself. And if you are not inspired, then no one can educate you. So there you go. LOL. Did you notice that on the outside ground of your cup is a dirt? What? What do you mean? What? Where does it say that? What? There is what? What have I missed? Would love if the next Doctor was played by Dr. Hewlett. Wouldn't it be great? David Hewlett, Dr. Hewlett? And everyone goes like, yeah, but you can't, because it's got to be British. I am British. I was born in the UK, born in Red Hill, Surrey. I'm as British as any of the other doctors that have been out there. But, yeah. But, Tennant did a damn good job, didn't he? I like that. Tennant guy was very, very good. Although I've got to say, of the new guys, no offense to Tennant, because I think Tennant is an absolutely brilliant actor. As the Doctor, and of the era of the Doctor, I felt that Matt Smith was way more my speed, because Matt Smith harkened back to that wonderful odd quirkiness of Tom Baker, I thought, along with with all the sort of additional acting skills that went along with it. But I love watching Tennant's stuff. I mean, Tennant's just a fabulous actor. We stan a Scottish Doctor. Am I biased? We stan. You prefer you want a Scottish Doctor. Didn't you have a Scottish Doctor? Was there not a Scottish? There must have been. Eccleston. Oh my God, Eccleston's just a brilliant actor. I'm not sure he was a brilliant doctor, but I think he's a brilliant actor. I also don't think they had their footing yet on Doctor Who then. I felt like they didn't know what to do. They were like alien fart jokes and stuff. I was like, oh dear, that's not the Doctor Who I grew up with. Red Dwarf. Everyone asks about Red Dwarf. It's one of those shows that I would sort of every so often I'd see an episode and I'd be like, because I felt like those are kind of the characters you got to get used to those characters. I think, I always feel like Red Dwarf is a bit like Monty Python, where it's almost funnier in the quoting after than it is at the actual watching. But you know what? I'm going to sit down and I'm going to give that a go, because it's one of those ones that I remember when I first watched the IT Crowd, which I think is like Faulty Towers levels of brilliance. And I watched the first episode of that and I was like, And then someone said, no, you understand, like, this is like a show that was made for you. And so I went back and watched it again, and then I was freaking glued. Actually, I'm like that a lot with things. Now, like Dune, when I started reading the book of Dune, I was like, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. It's like reading the freaking Bible. And, which I tried, by the way. I didn't get there. There's so many names. So-and-so beget of so-and-so beget of so-and-so. And I guess part of it was I wasn't religious, so maybe there was no inspiration there. But I just thought it's a great source. And when I was doing the writing side of stuff, I felt I needed to research, what are the classics. And one of the classics, of course, is like almost every story in the world has some kind of a biblical basis to it. So I thought I would try reading that. So I did love Revelations, though. Oh my, was it Revelations? Is that what I recall? Is that the right one? At the end there with all the many-headed beasts and all that kind of stuff, that was kind of fun, I guess, probably because of I used to love the Aleister Crowley stuff as well. So, anyways, so I'm going to try to keep you posted on the renovation stuff. So a little bit of renonerd stuff. And thank you all very, very much to everybody who recommended the shark bite things, because I was very nervous about them. They seemed too good to be true. And everyone says, no, tis the truth. They work well. So admittedly, I doubled up. I bought doubles of things because I thought then I can screw it up twice. So I've doubled up on a few things, and I'm going to, I got to do everything in this. I got to drywall, I got to fix the floor, I got to plumb, I've got to insulate and a vapor barrier. So I've just been doing lots and lots of research, which has sort of paralyzed me up until now. And so yesterday I was like, screw this, I'm ordering stuff. Because I said to Jane, I said, look, we know we're going to be missing something. So I'm just going to order a bunch of stuff, start working, and see where that gets us. And that's my plan, and I'm sticking to it. And then, of course, I'll probably get busy with acting and won't be able to do it. And then she'll be even madder about it. Not that she's mad. She's just, should we say, patiently disappointed in how long it's taken to do this. And it's amazing how during a pandemic you need all the bathrooms you can get. Okay, Infernal Spawn of Evil. What? Salty is the Infernal Spawn of Evil. That's amazing. I like being weird. Weird is all I got, and that is my sweet style. We're all weird. Here's the rule. There's no such thing as a non-weird person. Like, I don't understand. Like, there's no, what the frack is normal? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what normal is. Probably... I think I'm the dullest man alive, frankly. Like, I can't imagine anything duller than me. But that doesn't make me normal. You know what I mean? Like, there is no normal. That's the problem. Weird is normal. Medusa, what's going on here? What have I missed? We are all on the spectrum. Indeed, we're all on some spectrum, I would say. So what have we got? Did I miss Imperador? Did Imperador hop in with anything? I never like to miss Imperador's, question of the day or whatever. So Imperador, if you're here, would you mind? I can't scroll. There's too many things to scroll. Any tradesman is against anything that makes it easier to replace the tradesman. Well, Michael, that is so true. Oh, you're on the ZX spectrum. Oh, Johnny Wednesday, you made my day. We have one. I have a little Sinclair back in England, where I should be playing with my ZX Sinclair. It's not actually mine, but I like to think that Don Lohman left it for me. I mean, he might have left it for Jane, but I like to think he left it for me. And speaking of being left things, I've got my wonderful uncle is having we have a funeral for my wonderful uncle tomorrow, and I just saw the order of service, and some Christian hymns and crap in there as well. But there's also a lot of theater stuff in there, and he is this like incredibly decorated and respected psychiatrist who specialized in everything from postpartum depression to the mental illnesses of the elderly. Wrote books, all sorts of stuff, and he took me. I remember him sort of confiding in me one day. That he said, I just wanted to be an actor. I wish I'd been an actor. So I thought that was kind of cute. And I said to his daughters how I felt that they did a fantastic job with this little sort of order of service thing, because it was very much as I said, it was a glowing review for a brilliant performance. I mean, and as an actor, I felt that was, anyways. Okay, what do we got? Wow. Okay, so here's a question. Oh, DNW's got a question. Do you believe in multiple universes? Oh, I want to, DNW. I mean, Harvester, Commander, thank you so much. Appreciate it. If you got time, come back at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and watch us chat, listen to us chat Magic the Gathering. If you've got any questions, you can dive in on that. But thank you for joining us. Very, very, very much appreciate it. Yes. Do I believe in multiple universes? Well, here's the thing. I don't think it matters what I believe. What matters is what we can scientifically prove. I love it. I love it as a concept. I think it's wonderful. I'm not sure if I understand all the nuances of it, but I love it as a concept, both as a scientist and also as a writer and a sci-fi fan. I just think it's a wonderful sort of story engine for that kind of stuff. So I do kind of hope it's true. So I want to believe in it, but I don't believe in anything until I understand it. And that's where I'm at. What else we got? See you later. Bye, Harvester. You got to believe in the rod. That's it. Believe in the rod. You better stay in Canada. Restrictions in the UK are mental for a time now. Heard of a few friends in the UK. Well, the restrictions are necessary, right? I mean, they've got variants there. We're opening up, and we've got these freaking crazy variants happening. I don't even know. Yeah, legit. Like, I have no problem believing something as soon as I see it. Exactly. I'm a member of one church, and it is the Church of the Spiritual Humanists, and I don't know anything about it, but I had to get a certificate so I could marry my friends. So in California, you can marry people if you are a priest or a registered member of whatever these specific. It's a loophole that allows people other than priests and that nonsense to marry people. So I signed up for the Church of the Spiritual Humanists, and apparently their belief system, I don't even know if they still exist, but their belief is that they will believe in God and worship him once he's been proven, to exist. And I'm all over that. I, for one, welcome our godlike overlords, as long as they've been proven to me. So everyone should be locked down and hunker down. I know. This is the problem. Is I feel like if we hadn't been so freaking wimpy about our lockdowns in the beginning, we could have done 2 months of lockdown, and it would have been hell. It would have been the first 2 months of hell. But instead, we've had a year of this crap because we work on a 4-year voting cycle, and nobody freaking wants to be the bad guy. No one wants to be the one who's got to do the tough work. No one's the one who wants to tell people, no, you can't have this because there's a freaking pandemic going on. And I'm beginning more and more to believe, well, I don't even know if I want to go there. But I was going to say, I'm beginning to seriously debate the idea of freedoms when it comes to this stuff, because I think if people are too stupid to use their freedoms properly, then they don't deserve those freaking freedoms. The freedom to become stupid. Jim the Evo's here. That is by no means related. The freedom to become stupid, the freedom to stupidity has got nothing to do with Jim the Evo. In fact, it's the polar opposite. Jim, do you play Magic the Gathering? And if you don't, you're going to want to learn fast, because we've got a Magic the Gathering this afternoon, 4 p.m. We're gonna talk to a guy who does sort of competitive Magic the Gathering, and I'm very excited to talk to him because I want to beat my son. Herd immunity. I keep hearing herd immunity. I just, bleh. Herd immunity just seems like a lot of dead people. But old Get Well Games, if they followed the science rather than just say they were, we'd be in a better position to deal with these things. Well, this is it. So I hear these like medical professionals talking on the news in the morning, and they're asked point blank, what do you think of the government stuff? And the government stuff said, and they can't. They're like, well, we've given the government all the information. We can't really do more than that. Do we personally feel you should be closing? We should be opening things up? Well, not really our place to say. I mean, like, it's all political speak, and I understand it. But at the same time, it's like, oh, for God's sake, no, we should not. While there is one freaking case of COVID, or specifically the variant, which they're now wondering, I'm not saying, because I do not know, and this is not information, and I want to avoid any rumors, lies, or fake news. What I have heard is there is a possibility that this new variant may be more dangerous and more contagious. But it doesn't really matter, because it's already contagious and dangerous enough as it is. The point being is, I feel like while there are any of those cases around, everyone's like, well, there's only one case. Yeah, one case. But if that one case is not contained, it becomes 2 cases, and then 4, 8, do the frickin' math and the science, for God's sake, people. I always thought how Christ would have easily to the Stargate universe of ascended beings. Yeah, I mean, this is it. I mean, I think you could look again. Those fun stories can be applied to lots of things, and I think one of the things that I got very excited about religions once I had stepped back and was no longer a believer of any of this stuff. And when I say believer, I mean once the brainwashing had worn off, because the reality is you were not born a Christian child, you were not born a Muslim child, or Hindu, or whatever the hell other religions are. You're not born into that. You are brainwashed into that. I'm sorry. The reality is that you grow up with beliefs that your parents gave you. And they are beliefs that are based on F all. They are not based on science. They are not based on the world around you. And I think they're incredibly misleading. And I think they've done an incredible amount of damage. And I have always been reticent to speak to my distrust and personal hatred of religion in general. That does not mean I don't respect you for not being David Hewlett for Supreme Leader of the Universe. Thank you, Megan Walsky. That $5, that's going to get me there for sure. Thank you very much. I want to say I thank you. I'm very uncomfortable with people throwing money at me in this stuff, but I very much appreciate it, and I want you to know that money will go towards tech bandits. I do not want that money. That money will be put in my PayPal account and will stay there until I have fun tech bandit things to buy. And I'm not going to say that I won't enjoy them too, because I damn well will. In fact, maybe because we got a Magic the Gathering person coming, maybe I can even buy some cards. Maybe I've got an excuse to buy that box of cards now. But anyways, thank you very, very much. Very much appreciated. So yeah, I've always been a bit reticent to sort of share my feelings about religion, because I there's this weird line where you go like, should I have to show respect for people's beliefs and stuff? And then I sort of go like, I don't think I do. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't, like, I think if a crazy guy came on to the subway saying that he was being spoken to by a puddle of slushy on the floor, I couldn't buy into that. I would, so I'm not sure why this sort of system that's being built up around stuff that I don't believe in should be respected. I'm sorry, I don't think it should be respected. I'm all for for different cultures and different approaches to things, and obviously how that inspires food and systems of education, systems of living and bartering and financial and all the rest of it. I'm not saying that there is nothing good has come of religion, but I'm finding it very hard to find good. Well, who is that? Someone else? What's going on? Someone DNW. Thank you very much. I mean, I don't got a choice to pay taxes, so why should I get a choice to wear a mask? LOL. Go techie stuff. Oh, thank you very much, DNW. You know, I but at the same time, I respect people. Like for someone, a couple of people had a lot of problems with the idea that how could I possibly be friends with Padre, with Robert Ballard. God, I never get it right. Robert Ballard something. Anyways, Padre, or the digital Jesuit. I mean, how can I possibly get along with a man who is dedicated his life to a being that I don't believe in? And how could he be friends with me when I don't believe in God? I'm a godless, heathen. And the reality is, I respect him as an individual. I have not had the upbringing he's had. I have not had the experiences that he's had. Do I believe in the God that he believes in? No, I don't believe in God. I don't. Do I believe that he's a good man and an intelligent man and a man who pursues knowledge? Yes, I do. And I think that it's refreshing to meet a man of God who is not who is not blocked by that ridiculous those ridiculous beliefs. But at the same time, I imagine I would not take. I can't imagine he would want me speaking about this like that either. But the reality is, I also know that he respects people's opinions on this stuff, and in the same way that I respect his. So he's a far more intelligent human and a better human than I will ever be. I have one of my very good friends is Christian, and I do not effing understand it. I don't understand it. But it's not a reason to hate. Oh, for Tech Bandits, Miss Liz, what do you do? Thank you very much, Miss Liz. But it's just having you here is gift enough. Thank you very much. I'm an atheist, and one of my best friends is a Catholic. You can have different beliefs and still get along fine. Exactly. And I think there's this sort of weird sense that if you don't believe in God, then you are a godless heathen who will only do evil, terrible things. And I think, like, if you're a freaking Christian who only does good things because you in the hopes of going to heaven, then I'm not sure that I like you either. You know what I mean? Like, I remember my little sister saying to me once, not Kate, another one, Moira, teacher, saying, but wait a second, if I can just ask for forgiveness, then what's to stop me from doing anything? I also really, really worry about the idea that this isn't our reward, that life is not our reward, that there is something better beyond, because I think it belittles their experience and what they do here. I worry that if you believe that that when you die, you are going somewhere beautiful with all of your friends and family and stuff, I feel like it allows you, it could and has allowed people to do terrible things here in the name of that future, which I don't believe in. So definitely struggle with that. I also have a real problem with any conversation that ends with, well, you just have to have faith, or there's no way to convince me of this stuff. There's nothing in my realm, in my scientific method realm of learning and understanding that brings me to that. I've also had terrible experiences with the church. You got to understand that as well. I've had terrible experiences with them. I had an amorous priest when I was a very young boy who was grooming me for some terrible things, and I was very lucky that I had a relationship with my mother that I could bring up my concerns in a way that she could address them. And she and my father got me out of a situation that there is no doubt in my mind would have led to some horrible things. Oh my God, Dorian, thank you very much. Serious Black quote. We are all both light and dark inside. That is a wonderful quote. Hang on a second. We're all We are all both light and dark inside us. What really matters is the part we choose to act on. Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's fantastic. And again, no, that is not a sympathy thing. I don't need any sympathy. I was saved. My parents saved me. I went through some very awkward, some very uncomfortable stuff with this guy. And I don't even blame him, because I think that if you're wired in such a way that you prey on little boys or little girls or any of that kind of stuff, there is something really, really wrong with you, and you need treatment. If you are feeling those urges, you should talk to someone and get looked into. I mean, I really don't blame that man for what he tried to do. What I do blame is the church system that protected him. The church system that literally closed ranks around him, that moved him to another freaking church where he went on to get much further and to do some terrible, terrible things to many, many other people after that. And I feel sorry for my parents who had to deal with that and had to struggle with whether we should be pressing charges and whether they should put me in a position where I would have to be on the stand talking about the things that he did and wanted to do to me. So if there's anyone who deserves praise and sympathy, it's my parents who had to cope with this stuff, not me. I feel like I really feel lucky that I ended up where I am. And I'm also very lucky because I can talk to my son about it. Like, I can talk to my son and say, look, these are the reasons. Here's why I'm nervous about this, that, and the other. Here's why this stranger danger thing makes sense to me. Here's why on the internet you don't want to send people pictures of your naked feet, because that may come back to haunt you later on, that kind of stuff. So again, I feel like it's something that I speak about more now than I did before. I don't know why. I guess I'm older. I guess it's far enough away now that I feel like I can talk about it. I feel like, because I got a son now and family with family, I feel like it's important to sort of let people know this stuff happens. There's this weird thing. I remember when Jane had a miscarriage before Baz, and we were like, in our minds, we had this kid we were teaching him to ride bicycles, and he was going to be a great scientist. And then when the miscarriage happened, I mean, and I want to say we had a miscarriage, but it was Jane who had to deal with it. Which is horrible. Then all of a sudden everyone's like, oh my God, miscarriages. Oh my God, it's so awful. And then everyone had these experiences. Nobody freaking talked about it before. And all of a sudden, I'm like, what? What, really? What? Like, I had no, people, like, it was like this, like, it was like people talked about, like, oh yeah, no, we lost a couple of babies. And you're like, but what? Like, that, what? So I think there's this, I guess you're trying to protect people from those concerns. But, and again, it's not like I'm going to go wading into a conversation with Kate right now and say, like, oh, Kate, by the way, let me talk to you about that. Obviously I wouldn't do that, nor am I recommending that. But I just think it's funny that there's all these things we don't talk about. Again, my uncle is dead because of COVID. And because of the slow actions of governments that are charged with protecting their populations and have failed us. They have failed us. Some to a greater degree. I'm not saying that they're not on the ball now. England is far, far ahead of Canada on vaccinations. And for that, I'm very happy. They were not fast enough to save my uncle. And for that, I'm not happy. But at the same time, we don't talk about dying. I had a conversation with my dad the other day where my dad laid out what would happen when he died. These are the things, these are the documents we would need. This is the person who would be doing the executor, because there's no freaking way you would trust me to do it. Which is kind of the underlying thing there, which I kind of like, anyways, that's the whole topic. But anyways, I called him and I was like, dude, thank you so much. I didn't say dude, because I never call my dad dude. But I was like, thank you for that. Like, because it's just, people die, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, now what? Whereas if you can waylay some of those fears in advance, if you can talk about this stuff in advance, what you want, what you'd like, I feel like that's a gift that beyond measure. I mean, I guess it's a fabulous thing. Anyways, all right. I came here to talk about renovation. Where the hell have I gone? Anyways, all right. So we're 49 minutes in. I'm gonna wrap this up because, good God, who knows where I'll go next? I'll declare my own country and my own religion, and it would be not a religion. Would be nice to have my own island, though. I'd like that. I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness. Wow, okay. But got out as I grew up. Honestly, now, I think it's more that people need good principles and not religion itself. Each religion has its own good points. How would you feel about a Kanzuk? What is that? I don't know what that is. Hello, Game Bakery. Have a lovely day. Keep learning, Zoma Proof. Thank you very much. Hugs to me. Thank you, Eva. Renovation. Squirrel. Easy Sparky. Yes, very good point. So I got some work to do. So for now, I'm going to leave. Finn, thank you so much. If you have time and the stream is going on, then I'll drop by later. Either way, have a great day. And the rest of you wonderful guys. Thank you very much, Finn. Have a good one. We'll hopefully see you later. Again, 4 p.m. Come and check out some Magic the Gathering talking. I've got a Magic the Gathering pro to talk to this afternoon. I'm very excited about it, obviously. So that will be 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tech Banditry over on twitch.tv/Tech Banditry. Any other info, go check out thetechbandits.com. I should add a renovation section, shouldn't I? Why don't they teach renovation in school? Wait a sec, what about that, huh? And thank you all for the feedback on the mailing list stuff, which if you're not on, you should be. Go check out thetechbandits.com and go join the mailing list, because I send out just things that I've discovered with Tech Bandits, or just things I find interesting, maybe one day I'll talk about religion. I don't know. We'll see. Yes, until we geek again, I'm going to head out. What do you go? They don't teach life skills in school. They do a little bit DNW. They do it like there's a bit of that, but it's not as much as it should be already, So, all right, everybody, I will say a fair and adieu. I will say be safe, be kind, be brilliant. And until we geek again, cheerio and huzzah!